Hello and welcome to today's video. If you haven't been here before, my name is Siobhan. If you have, welcome back. This is gonna probably be a little bit difficult for me to do. I'm just gonna sort of do the things that I don't usually do for videos for this video. Because mostly I just want to sort of talk about why I haven't posted in the last week. I actually have videos that are prepared, and the title I'm sure says, because I'm not going to want anyone to start watching this and like trigger something for them. This is the Tatcha silk canvas. It's the Tatcha silk canvas primer. I got this in the Tatcha bento box. But anyway, I actually have videos that will probably go up. It's probably going to be a little weird because I have videos that are like partially edited because I edited on the plane. And then, so those videos that I have that were previous to everything happening, things prior to me being... Hi, my name is Siobhan. Hi, welcome. If you've never been here before, my name is Siobhan and I'm happy to have you. If you have been here before, I appreciate the continued support. I am probably going to have a little bit of difficulty making this video. I am sure that I'll be putting in the description what the video is about, since I don't want anyone to be triggered. So my dad died 8 days ago, and I'm going to try to talk about the makeup stuff in between. This is the Tatcha silk canvas primer, and this came in the skincare for makeup lovers bento box. They still have them at Sephora, I think. They actually didn't have them on the Tatcha website, or at least they didn't have them when I went there looking for them, because they had sold out for a while at Sephora. And with their 20% off that they had for Black Friday, I wanted to get more. But anyway, so yeah, so if you've watched my previous videos, then you know that this wasn't a total surprise. My dad had liver and colon cancer, so he was in a lot of pain and suffering. He had done a very good job of not letting anyone know the extent to which he was suffering. Okay, I'm not gonna cry. But I had been trying to get a hold of him for a couple of days and hadn't been able to. I'd left voicemails, and I wish that I would have tried harder, but I can't change the past. This is the Too Faced Peach Perfect foundation in Swan. It's my favorite, my go-to. So I also, if you've watched my videos, I've talked a lot about how I sleep excessively, and I had gone to bed at, I don't know, probably like 7 last Thursday. So 1 week before Thanksgiving. And I feel like this still isn't completely straight. And I woke up and one of my brothers had left me some voicemails and some text messages saying, initially there were messages saying that Dad had gone downhill and that he was going to the hospital, or that he was in the hospital at that point, I guess. And the doctors were saying that they thought that he probably had about 5 days. And when I woke up, it was like 1:30 in the morning, and there was another voicemail that was like 2 hours after the first set of trying to get a hold of me to let me know. I don't know if I can do makeup and talk about this, because crying and doing makeup doesn't work. And it's going to be really obvious if I'm crying and then cutting it out later when I just keep having different makeup. Okay, I'm going to be okay. And I'm not somebody who doesn't believe that it's okay to cry. I've done my fair share of crying, and right now I just want to do makeup and talk. And I also have not had an opportunity to go to therapy since it happened, and I go back to work tomorrow, and I've said "and" like 8 million times, so if there's weird jumps right here, that's why, because I'll probably try to get some of that out. But anyway, I go back to work tomorrow and haven't had an opportunity to talk to my therapist about the anxiety I'm having about returning to work. I haven't had an opportunity to see her since my mom died, so I imagine tomorrow, since my mom died, I haven't had an opportunity to talk to her since my dad died. I imagine tomorrow is probably going to be difficult. I also haven't, it's still sinking in. I was in Target actually on Thanksgiving night, and we walked past the Christmas cards, and my first thought was, I need to make sure that I remember to send my dad a Christmas card. And then I realized that you don't send dead people Christmas cards, and that was difficult. So anyway, I had a message from my brother like 2 hours later saying that Dad had died. And he went downhill really fast. He went from people having seen him just a few days prior and thinking that he was doing really well to just being dead. So I flew out to the funeral, and it's just like, it all happened so fast. I recorded the funeral. We didn't have a traditional funeral by any means. It was just some close family and then a few friends. We just all met at the graveyard and carried the casket out and then buried him. And I recorded the whole thing because partly because when my mom died, I didn't grieve in my own way. I didn't feel like it was okay. I felt like I was too self-conscious to grieve and too worried about what other people were thinking about me and what I was doing and how I was grieving. And this time I just didn't care what anyone thought or how anyone else felt about how I was dealing with things. So I recorded the whole thing, and I stayed and recorded the entire time they were burying him until it was completely filled in, which I imagine was probably a little awkward and uncomfortable for the people who were actually burying him. But this is It Cosmetics. Bye Pores Pressed Powder. But again, they didn't say anything to me about it. They didn't try to discourage it. I was talking to somebody who had known my dad, and he just kind of hung out and talked to me for a little bit, but everybody else had left. My brother was sitting down in his car waiting for me. My dad is buried in the mountains, and so it was cold. Before I flew out there, I looked at the temperature and it was like 9 degrees. So he is somewhere that I'll be visiting in the summer when I go to see his grave. He is somewhere that is beautiful, and I'm sure that I'll put together a video. I don't know if I'm definitely going to put together a video. I don't know whether or not I'll post it. So I dyed my hair, colored. So I also colored my hair. I bleached it and put the lavender in. And it's something, whenever I lose somebody, whenever somebody who is significant to me is no longer going to be in my life, whether it's after a breakup or the end of a long-term friendship that really meant a lot to me, or somebody dying, my hair is always sort of how it's attached. My hair is attached to my grief in a weird way. So as part of my grieving process, I always sort of feel like I need to change something on the outside, and I don't know, it's hard to have words because I am still coming to terms with how I feel. Mostly the reason for making this video is because it's important to me and I didn't want to just gloss over it, and I didn't want to just act like nothing happened. And it's something that I'm sure I will talk about in other videos. And I didn't want it to be one of those moments where you're like, she never said anything. Like, that's weird. And I also, while we were there after the funeral, I do not always do the best with people. And there were some situations that were less than appreciated by me, And it's stuff that's just, it's totally personal and subjective, and things that I have no intention of going into, because it's not really anything that, it's situational, and it's stuff that's not really going to make any difference or probably make any sense. So after the funeral, one of the guys who had really kind of been helping take care of my dad and lived across the street had a dinner, and I didn't feel like I could be there. I didn't feel like I could be around the people. So the youngest of my brothers and I went back to the Airbnb where we were staying, and I did a video of him doing my makeup, and there was a lot of laughing, and that's sort of how I deal with grief a lot. And a lot of people, when they aren't ready to fully embrace their emotions, laugh. And I've always been that person. It's only been recently that I've really allowed myself not to compartmentalize everything and to cry when I feel like I need to cry. But in that moment, I felt like what I needed to do was laugh, and I needed to do something that was going to separate me from some of the sadness. Because I needed to have some happy memories there. But I also mentioned at the beginning of that video, just very briefly, that we are there for our dad's funeral, and then we really didn't talk about it. And I didn't want to just post that and have people think that we didn't care about our dad, or that it was something that I know how much it has hurt me in the past to see people just not really care that their mom's gone, because my mom died when I was relatively young. And so I don't want somebody else who has had their father die, or even just not in their life, feel like I don't appreciate what having a father means. And as much as there's part of me that doesn't care what people think, I do care about whether or not what I say or do hurts other people. So, yes, it's not so much caring about what you think of me as it is about me caring how I am directly affecting you. And that's true of anybody that watches my videos, or anybody that I come in contact with in life. I don't ever want who I am or what I do to hurt somebody else. It's really that simple. Sometimes that can't be helped. There are things that people are just not going to agree with, but this is the kind of thing that I feel like I have the ability to say. And also, I do want to honor the memory of my father. There were plenty of things that I could talk about him that maybe weren't ideal, but he was my dad, and I loved him, and I know that he loved me. So I am actually going to go ahead and wrap this up. So this was just me doing my foundation video. As far as the makeup went, pretty not interesting. I will be doing another video. The video that I'm doing probably won't go up right after this one. Maybe it will. I don't know. But I want to get this one up so that I can start posting the other videos I've edited.